A very warm, a very warm welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back in the Japan Cricket League. We are back here. It's the Sano Bulls taking on the Tokyo Wombats. A very good contest out here in this Japan Cricket League. We are out here at the Sano International Cricket Ground and in the air, and it's been dropped. Well, that was the chance to get the early breakthrough. Just of the third delivery, would you believe it? And it's a let off for the side in yellow. Well, this is excellent piece of bowling so far. Once again, just leaves that well alone. So that's an excellent over. Well, in fact, it's been given as a wide by the umpire. You would feel it's a surprising call in the end. Nonetheless, has to reload it. So the opening run on the board. And now he connects. He's played that one over the infield and that will run away to the fence. So the first boundary of this innings, the first boundary of this game. And that has just spoiled the over out here for the bowler because he was bowling superbly so far. Excellent timing in the end on that shot to get that boundary in. And this time it's been left alone. So that is now the end of the first over with the score at 5 without a wicket. Right then, we continue now in this second over. And once again, an excellent delivery to start off for the bowler. Well, once again, we are out here at the Sano International Cricket Ground in Sano City, Tochigi Prefecture in the north of Tokyo. Well, we are at the home of Japanese cricket, aren't we? The headquarters of the Japan Cricket Association. Established as Japan's first dedicated international standard cricket venue and regularly hosts International Japan Cricket League and development tournaments. Well, recently we also did have the ICC World Cup qualifiers happening out here. Well, the playing surface out here generally features turf wickets with a well maintained grass outfield. The venue includes multiple turf strips for the tournament cricket. Well, that's an excellent shot. So now both the openers are off the mark with a boundary. That's beautifully placed. An excellent extra cover shot. Just punches that one and right into the gap. As you can see, the replay there offered a bit of width and past the fielder. Well, we are in the first 6 overs, so only the two fielders allowed outside the inner ring. And they will be wanting to take full advantage of it. Once again, just pushed on the offside, and this time they scamper across for a quick single. So finally, a rotation of strike. Well, usually early in the day out here at the Sano International Cricket Ground, seamers can find some assistance due to moisture and cooler Japanese conditions. And you will feel that the bowlers will have the chance to swing the ball around. The bowler will not be wanting to angling it into the left-hander. But as the match progresses, the pitch tends to settle, allowing stroke makers to play through the line more confidently. And the bounce also is pretty much even on this surface. This time it's been left alone. But that was very close to the stumps as well. Good judgment in the end by the batter. And this time it's been cut away, and once again another quick single taken. The left hand right hand combination out here is working really well so far for the Sano Bulls, who are batting first here. Nonetheless, that's the end of the second over with the score at 11 without a wicket. Right, then we continue now in this third over. And now a couple of occasions where Chaudhary almost lost his run up. Well, Kola Surya is on strike now. He has got one boundary, but He needs to up the ante a bit now. We are into the third over. Once again, just cut away and it's gone right through. Well, some runs out here on offer. The fielder having to chase it and a bit of a hesitation, but in the end, they make it quite comfortably. The throw not quite on target. So, 3 runs taken on that occasion. Good running between the wickets. Once again, beautifully bowled, and the bowler has adjusted his line really well here. After bowling those first 3 deliveries to the left hander, he is now bowling it towards the right hander and he's doing an exceptional job. Once again, beautifully bowled, but this time given as a wide by the umpire. Well, he's wanting to keep it close to the batter, but very unfortunate in the end. Well, he's looking in good nick out there. Rio Sakunaro Thomas. And this time he hits a straight drive. Well, it's very unfortunate for him. It's hit the stumps at the non striker's end. That could have been a certain boundary. Nonetheless, that's the end of the third over. Once again, an exceptional over, just the 4 coming off it. And the Sano Bulls are now 15 without a wicket at the end of the third. Well, usually we do see 140, 150 is a decent total at the Sano International Cricket. Well, this time a big appeal, and the umpire says no. Well, we'll be interested to see if this one will be called as a wide. Well, that is exactly what Kola Surya is also asking for, and the umpire is not giving that as a wide, so maybe brushing something. Well, there seemed to be a big gap between the pad and the ball, so definitely maybe some sound for the umpire because that is down the leg side. That should have been a wide. Nonetheless, Abid bowling this fourth over. Once again, an excellent delivery. This is really good bowling by the Tokyo Wombats. Rao Abid, really an asset to have in your side. This time it's been punched on the leg side. Well, they are bowling in a very good partnership, Arshad Chaudhary and Rao Abid. We talk about batting partnerships, but how often do we talk about bowling partnerships in cricket? This is a very good one. Well, they might have not taken any wickets, but they're keeping things extremely tight out here. Just the 16 on the board out of the first 3.5 overs. And the Tokyo Wombats, well, they will be happy with the kind of the position that they are in. Well, this time it's been picked up on the leg side by Rio, and they come back for the second. That's excellent run between the wickets once again. Straight away, the call was for two. Well, this time it was a full toss, and he's missed out there, Rio. It's a thick inside edge onto his own pad, and they get across for a single. And that brings the left-handed batter back on strike, Kaushan Kulasurya, one of the key players of the Sano Bulls Cricket Club. Well, this time wanting to pick that one up on the leg side, and maybe just a bit too early onto that shot. Nonetheless, another over comes when once again just the four of it at the end of the fourth. It's 19 without a wicket for the Sano Bulls. Well, we continue now in this fifth over, and that's another wide down the leg side. Well, those wides are definitely coming thanks to the left hand right hand combination out here. Always the bowlers struggle, as you can see, to get their lines right. It's Mushtaq who is continuing now. Zahid Mushtaq, another excellent baser. Well, that will be another wide down the leg side meanwhile. And Rio is disappointed with himself because he feels that there was a scoring opportunity with the fine leg inside the circle. And he's missed out completely. That is exactly where he is looking. There was a certain boundary had he got anything on that. And he's missed out this time with once again the slower one by Mushtaq. That's beautifully bowled. Sensational piece of bowling. And we are still inside this power play, and we have hardly seen any boundaries, just a couple of them. And that was the first boundary for both the openers to get off the mark. Other than that, there's only been doubles and triples, and also some wides, which has helped them to get to the total of 21. This time a thick inside edge and almost chalked it on. Well, hands on head moment for Zaid Mushtaq, almost getting his man there. And now he cuts it away. Now he finds the gap. And now he finds the boundary. A much needed one for Rio Sakurano Thomas. That's beautifully placed. A beautiful square cut. The captain leading from the front. And he needs quite a few more of those, especially in the next nine deliveries, which are about to come up. Crucial nine deliveries of this power play. Once again, cutting that one away, but this time only a single towards the third man region. But in fact, they're coming back for the second and they make it quite comfortably. Once again, excellent run between the wickets, taking the arm on of the fielder. Well, this is brilliant bit of batting all of a sudden by Rio Sakurano Thomas. Pushing the fielders as well, turning those ones into twos, is the 26-year-old. Well, he is one of the Japan's leading all-rounders. And good to see the regular member of the Japan national team out here doing some bits. Once again, a thick inside edge. Once again, the slower one by Zaid Mushtaq, and it's working out really well for him. Well, once again, the slow one, once again offering width, but he's missed out completely. So 8 runs coming off this fifth over. At the end of the fifth, it's 27 without a wicket. Well, Kaushan Kalusurya was at the non-strikers in the previous over. He's back on strike. He's played that one down the ground, the middle fielder. Well, he got a hand to it. And once again, a couple of runs. Well, thankfully, he got a hand to it, but otherwise, it would have run away to the fence. So, once again, in search of boundaries out here are the Sano Bulls. Well, once again, we come back to Rio Sakurano Thomas. What an asset to have in your team. Well, he's also someone who was appointed as the head coach of the Japan's men's under 19 and under 16 national academy in 2025 while continuing his professional playing career. As you can see on your screen, he's still out here playing along with the coaching role of the under 19 and the under 16 national academy. But it has been a year since he is into it, and he's doing a really good job out here. Nonetheless, a single taken. And now Rio has played that one in the air. This could be a chance. And finally, they hold on to it. Well, they did have a chance in the very first over. They didn't quite take the wicket, but this time they do. That's a very good catch out there at long off. And Rio Sakurano Thomas, in search of quick runs, has to depart here. Not quite in control of it. And well, a very good catch out there at long off, and they have lost their first year. The Sano Bulls. It's 30 for 1 after 5.3 overs. Right then, the captain departs, and now two left-handers at the crease once again. What a good delivery that is. Aaron Regan, the man, bowling this last over of the power play, and he's got the crucial breakthrough of the hard-hitting Rio Sakurano Thomas. But once again, they are having to rebuild here, the Sano Bulls, and well, that one took a bit of an awkward bounce. Not quite able to judge it, the batter. Well, he's still pretty much new at the crease. He needs to take some time out there. So now the last delivery of the power play coming up. Can he close it out nicely? Well, yes, he has. That's three consecutive dots to close it out. And that is the end of the sixth over. A successful over for Aaron Regan at the end of the sixth. At the end of the power play, it's 30 for 1. Right, then we continue now outside this power play, and Kaushan Kalasuria is back on strike. Well, once again, that is not given as a wide by the umpire. It was down the leg side. Zahid Mushtaq, the man, continuing outside this power play. So that brings Devon Van Onsolen back on strike, who is yet to get off the mark. The South African born. Once again, another batter who is highly regarded in the Japanese cricket, a prominent figure. He is the experienced campaigner out here for them. Well, meanwhile, not quite able to pick up the slower one and just wanting to get away from it in the end. Well, this time it's a leading edge. This is another chance, and that's another wicket. And what a big wicket that is! It's Van Onselen, the South African, who will have to depart. A leading edge and beautifully bowled once again by Zahid Mushtaq. It was the slower one once again. He was very early into that shot. And an easy catch for the fielder out there at cover. And the Sano Bulls all of a sudden have lost a couple. It's 32 for 2 after 6.3. Well, we continue now in this seventh over, and all of a sudden, those couple of wickets have really put the Sano Bulls in deep trouble. Well, the new man in is Taniyama Makoto, who gets off the mark straight away. Well, Kaushan Kalusurya holds the key out here. Once again, just pushed on the leg side. Another quick single taken. So now the last delivery of the seventh over coming up. Well, in fact, that is the end of the seventh over, is it? Well, not quite so. Still one more left. And bringing Taniyama back on strike. Well, he has 68 appearances for his country. And he made his debut back in 2012 up against Suriname. Another regular member of the Sano Bulls Cricket Club, and once again an excellent delivery by Zahid Mushtaq. Another successful over this for the Tokyo Wombats. And at the end of the seventh, it's 34 for 2 now. Well, we continue now in this eighth over, and how close was that to that leg stump? Well, this is outstanding piece of bowling. And they're not offering much to the batters at the moment. The Tokyo Wombats, the bowlers of the Tokyo Wombats. Well, this time a fuller length by Aaron Regan, and it's been played straight to the fielder at mid-on. So another dot. Well, an interesting field setup as well. Once again, of course, it is that left-hand right-hand combination after that loss of the wicket of Devon when on Solon. And this time its shot has been pulled away and, well, not quite carrying to the fielder. It's on the bounce. Thankfully for Kaushan, he didn't quite time it well enough. And that's just a single. Well, these middle overs are now very crucial for the Sano Bulls because they need to push on. At the moment, the projected score is just a bit more than 100. In fact, not even 100. If you see, 98 is the projected score at the moment, which will definitely not be enough. They will need to try and push on a bit, and who better than Taniyama in the middle overs? Makoto Taniyama, an experienced campaigner. This time it's been pushed on the offside, straight to the fielder. Well, quite a few dots coming in and continuing to get those dots in here. This time it's been played on the leg side, and they get across for a quick single. So now the last delivery of this eighth over coming up. Just the 2 runs of it so far of this Aaron Regan over. Aaron Regan just showing us his skill out here on how good he actually is. He bowled the last over of the power play. He got the opening wicket, the big wicket of Rio, Rio Sakurano Thomas, who was really trying to push on to try and get those quick runs. Nonetheless, the last delivery of this eighth over now. And once again, it's been tucked away on the leg side. The wicketkeeper is after it, and he will keep it down to 1. So 3 runs coming off that over. Once again, an excellent one for the Tokyo Wombats. At the end of the eighth, it's 37 for 2. So finally, some spin is what we are seeing out here now. It is Muhammad Jawad who is continuing here. Straight away finding the thick outside edge where Kolasuria gets a single. So Taniyama is back on strike and he would fancy himself maybe up against the spinners. Well, the boundaries out here are a bit asymmetrical, so maybe an opportunity for the batters, especially with that left hand right hand combination. One side is shorter compared to the other. He's charged down the wicket this time, but once again not quite in control, so only a single towards long on. Well, just the 3 boundaries so far in this innings, just the 3 fours. One has come off the bat of Kaushan Kalasuria, and the other two came off the bat of Rio Sakurano Thomas, who is back in the pavilion. This time it's short and is being pulled away and in the gap as well. So that will find the boundary. As soon as we speak about the boundaries, we finally get the fourth one of this game. That's beautifully placed. Well, not the best of the deliveries though by Jawad. He would feel that he could have done slightly better here. And easy pickings in the end for Kaushan. Once again, a low full toss. And this time they come back for the second. Well, the fielder could have done slightly better. Well, that's exactly what Jawad is pointing out at. That's an extra run given away. And this time he defends it. So 8 runs coming off the over of spin. At the end of the ninth, it's 45 for 2. Right, then we are into the 10th over now, and he has hit the timber. What a good delivery! Completely undone there, Taniyama. And that's wicket number 3 gone for the Sano Bulls Cricket Club. Well, once again, as you start to feel that they are building up, Zahid Mushtaq strikes once more, hits the top of off, and now it's 45 for 3. Would you believe it? Right then, 45 for 3, the Sano Bulls Cricket Club, and that will be given as a wide. So the score moves on to 46 now. The new man in is Ryuki Ozeki, the wicketkeeper for the Sano Bulls Cricket Club. And the home team are in deep trouble here. 46 for 3 at the moment. Well, you would feel that they still have wickets in hand though, but they don't have the score at the moment. It's just 46. They are going at just below 5 runs and over. Once again, just pushed towards the fielder. Well, he's a very, very young lad yet. Ryuki Ozeki, the 18-year-old, who recently represented Japan in the under 19. Once again, just shaping that one away from the right hand batter. Right, then a test of character out here for Ozeki. How can he approach this innings? Meanwhile, 3 consecutive dots. And it's not too often that we see 3 consecutive dots in a T20 game. Make that 4. That was very close to finding the outside edge. Just getting his bat away at the last moment did Ryoki Ozeki. Well, Ryuki Ozeki is one of the youngest players in this competition. Well, he provides genuine pace with the ball when he bowls, but meanwhile he needs to up the ante a bit with the bat. And he's gone for the big one. It's gone straight up in the air and it's fallen just short of the fielder. Well, he's got off the mark. He scampered across for that single. Never quite in control of that shot. And that could have been a double whammy in that over. Nonetheless, he gets off the mark. Well, they will feel that it's a chance missed here, the Tokyo Wombats. It's 47 for 3 now after 10. Right, and continuing with spin, and Ozeki once again just pushes it straight to the fielder. Right, then they need a partnership and they need some quick runs as well here. The Sano Bulls, well, this time it's kept low, and somehow Ozeki has managed to play that one down the ground. And now that one was in the slot, and it's been played beautifully towards that cow corner region, just short of the maximum. It's gone away to the boundary, and that will also bring up the 50 for the Sano Bulls. 52 for 3 now after 10 and a half overs. Well, it's been a while since they have got that 50 up, and maybe this is the time where they up the ante a bit and try and get some quick runs. Once again, low full toss. Well, this has been placed beautifully as well. The long on fielder was extremely wide, and that's back to back boundaries for Kaushan Kalasurya. This is really good batting by the opener. Well, they are enjoying themselves up against spin, up against slow bowling. And Kaushan Kalasurya, well, he's getting some quick runs here, some crucial runs for his side. They need a plenty more of those. That's a much better delivery this time. Bowling it much more closer to himself rather than to the batter. A slightly shorter length. So now the last delivery of this 11th coming up. 9 have come off it already. Well, he has driven that one through the offside straight to the fielder. It will stay at 9. At the end of the 11th, it's 56 for 3. Alright then, Zahid Mushtaq continuing here, bowling his 4th consecutive over. How often do we see that? 2 for 14 is 3.1, and the captain wanting to be attacking. Once again, excellent delivery. Quicker through the air, skidding through the surface, and Ozeki has no response at the moment. He is on 2 of 9 deliveries. A lot lying on the shoulders of the 18-year-old out here at the Sano International Cricket Ground. This time he just pushes it on the offside, gets the single, and brings the informed Kulasuria back on strike. Well, once again, a leading edge. This could be a chance, and once again, it's fallen just short of the fielder. Well, almost wicket number 4, and Zahid Mushtaq just cannot believe how has he not got his third yet. That's the third time something like that has happened. Those leading edges just flying up in the air and falling into no man's land. Right, and Ryuki Ozeki is back on strike. And that's another swing and a miss. Well, he has a batting stance a bit like Dewal Brevis, isn't it? The South African who likes to play to the pace of the bowlers. And now the wicketkeeper is right up at the stumps, wanting to make sure that Ryuki Ozeki doesn't step out. And he wanted to play that one on the leg side, and the wicketkeeper has missed out. He's very unhappy with himself. That was another chance for Zahid Mushtaq to get another wicket. Nonetheless, given as a wide down the leg side by the umpire, so has to reload that one, Zahid Mushtaq. And this time it's gone right through everybody, even past the wicket keeper. The chase is on. The fielder does get across, and they get a couple of byes to close out the over. Well, that is now the end of the 12th, with the score at 61 for 3 for the Sano Bulls Cricket Club. Well, we start the 13th over, and once again, Kolasurya has started off with a boundary. That's excellent placement once again, a reverse sweep. Some improvisation out here, and over the fielder who was inside the circle on the offside. This time played down the ground towards the fielder at long on. So brings Ryuki Ozeki back on strike, who really needs to get the move on now. He's on 3 of 12 deliveries. He needs to up the scoring rate. Well, once again, not the best of the deliveries you would feel, and Ryuki Ozeki not quite able to capitalize on it. Takes the single. Well, he's done the smart thing though of bringing Kolasuria back on strike, who is enjoying himself up against the spinner Jawad. And he has dispatched that one. And it's a catch dropped, would you believe it? Well, he held on to it for a moment, and somehow it's just spooned out of his own hand. Well, Kolasuria would be disappointed with himself. He would feel that it was a full toss. It was an opportunity to get the maximum. We are yet to see one this morning. Well, he's gone for the big one, Ryuki Ozeki, and this time he gets a couple of runs. Now, this partnership is building nicely now for the Sano Bulls. Last delivery of this 13th now. And he's bowled much closer to the batter. So 10 runs coming off this 13th, the biggest one of the innings. At the end of the 13th, it's 70 for 3. Right then, back to pace. Sahid Mushtaq is bowled out, another full toss, and once again not quite able to time it well enough. Only a single towards long off. So Ozeki is back on strike. And it seems like the bowler is wanting to come around the wicket. So right arm around the wicket, up against the right-handed Ricky. And he's got the leading edge. Past the wicket keeper. Well, that one is running away. Won't quite find the fence though. And a couple of runs taken. But a nice little angle for us to watch that shot. As they try to push on here. Well, this partnership is now worth 28. Once again, shot pulled away and pulled away beautifully through the gap. It's a boundary, the first one for Ryuki Ozeki. And now he's getting into his own groove. Well, not sure about the angle that the bowler is offering out here, and he's taking full advantage of it. Beautiful piece of timing and beautiful piece of placement as well. This time a thick outside edge. And it's only a single to bring Kolasoria back on strike, who has been hitting the ball really well. He's on 39 of 36 deliveries. He's done the bulk of the scoring, you would feel. In fact, exactly half of what has been scored out here by the Sano Bulls, apart from those wides and no balls. Once again, a single towards that leg side, moves into the 40s, and brings Ryuki Ozeki back on strike, who is starting to show some form now. One more delivery left in this 14th. And it's been pushed on the offside. Well, Kulasuya wanted to take the single, and that could have been disastrous. Nonetheless, it's another dot to close it out at the end of the 14th. It's 79 for 3. Right, then Jawad continuing and another reverse sweep. And once again, beautifully placed by Kulasoria. And he's closing on into his half century. That's the second time he has improvised the shot up against Jawad, and he's enjoying himself up against the spinner, isn't he? A big gap out there. He knows exactly where the fielders are, and he's taking full advantage of it. And that's gone right through. That should have been stopped by the fielder. A misfield allowing him to get back-to-back boundaries once again. Kaushan Kulasurya closing in on a half century. That was the reverse sweep first up. And this was the second one where the fielder made a total mess of it. So he's on to 48 now, just too short of his half century. Once again swept, and a quick single has been taken. Moves on to 49, and he will be at the non-striker's end. Meanwhile, Ryuki Ozeki is back on strike, who is also showing some form out here now. Well, he was on 3 of 12 deliveries. He has scored the next 10 runs in his next 7 deliveries. umpire wanting to make sure that everything is nice and tidy. Well, it's been bowled short. It's been pulled away in the air. Once again, not quite carried to the fielder. And only a single. Right then, Kulasuria is back on strike, who is on 49 at the moment, eyeing another half century for himself. A very, very talented young batter, the left-hander. On 49, plays that one on the leg side, and he gets his half century. 50 of 41 deliveries. In fact, they come back for the second as well. 51 now for him in 41 deliveries. And now he acknowledges it towards his teammates who are cheering on for him. Last delivery of the 15th coming up. Jawad has been the expensive bowler, and once he gets his half century, he has dispatched that one all the way for a maximum, the first six of this innings. And all of a sudden, they are going at a very good rate out here, the Sano Bulls. And now, even maybe 150 is on the cards. Well, Jawad has finished his spell, 4 overs, none for 44. He's been very expensive out here. He has shifted the momentum towards the batting side. And that's 6. Well, that could be a statement of intent that they are going to launch in the last 5. It's 97 for 3 after 15. As you can see, the batting card, well, that 6 also brought out the 50 partnership between the two, Koshan Kolasurya and Ryoki Ozeki. As you can see, Rio Sakurano Thomas, he was looking in good nick inside the power play before being dismissed by Aaron Regan. And of course, a couple of wickets for Zahid Mushtaq. Very unlucky to not quite get the third. The big wicket of Devon Van Olsolen, where he scored those quick runs. The South African couldn't quite trouble the scorers. Nonetheless, we continue now. 97 for 3 after 15. Right then, once again, beautifully bowled. And Ryuki Ozeki just maybe thinking of wanting to tuck it away on the leg side or the offside to get the single and bring Kaushan Kolasurya back on strike. It's not quite worked out on that occasion. Abid, the man continuing. But once again, straight to the fielder. Well, there is a shot mid wicket, and it's been placed perfectly for that. So a couple of dots now. And that's 3 in a row. And pressure is back onto the batters now. Well, the spin hasn't quite worked out today for the Tokyo Wombats. And he was very expensive out there today. Was Muhammad Jawad. 44 runs is what he has conceded in his 4 overs. That means only 53 have been conceded in the other 11.3 overs for the loss of 3 wickets. That is the difference between the two. Finally, he connects and takes the single as Ryuki Ozeki. And he's brought Kolasurya back on strike. Meanwhile, Rao Abid is doing an exceptional job out here. 2.4 overs, none for 11. Just the 1 run coming off this over so far. Well, will be interesting to see how does Kolasurya manage himself up against the Pacers now. He enjoyed up against the spin, especially up against Jawad. Most of his runs have come against spin. Meanwhile, a low full toss and the bowler, well, he got a hand to it. And that is going to sting a lot to Rao Abid. It is his bowling hand as well. So now the Sano Bulls are just 1 run short of that 100 mark. And has he found the edge? Yes, he has. A delayed reaction by the umpire and Ra Abid. Well, it has been a sensational over so far. He's conceded just the 2 runs and he has topped it off by taking a wicket with the last delivery, and he's broken this partnership. This partnership, which was worth more than 50, has come to an end. And now the Sano Bulls are 99 for 4 after 16 overs. 4 more overs left. Well, how many more can they get from here on? Right then, Aaron Regan is continuing in the 17th over, starting off with the dot, and now he gets the single, Kalasurya. Well, it brings the new man on strike. Well, nonetheless, meanwhile, that's the 100 up for the Sano Bulls. 100 for 4 now after 16.2. Still another 22 deliveries left. Well, meanwhile, the new man in is Tsuyoshi Kamiyama. We'll wait and see how does he approach. Well, wanting to cut that one away straight away. Misses out. Once again, an excellent over this. Just the 1 run off it halfway through it. The Pacers are turning out to be very fruitful. Once again, a swing in him is beaten for pace. Is Tsuyoshi Kameyama. Well, he is more than capable of hitting the long ball. He did hit a couple of sixes previously in one of the previous innings, Kameyama. And that's another swing and a miss. That's 3 in a row now. And Aaron Regan, what a sensational over this is. Just the 1 run of the 17th so far. One more to come. Well, Kamiyama is the product of the Sano cricket team, which has produced many players from the Japanese national team. And finally, he connects, but It's gone straight to the fielder, so it will stay at one. Well, a brilliant, brilliant over by Aaron Regan coming to an end. At the end of the 17th now, it's 100 for 4. Arjun Kolasuria is bowling this 18th. It's a thick inside edge. He's missed out once again. Just 17 more deliveries left. And at the moment, the Sano Bulls are not quite able to push on here. Once again, beautifully bowled right at the block hold, and Kolasuria has just managed to play that one towards the fielder at long off. And that's another single taken, bringing Kamiyama back on strike, who is yet to get at the mark. He faced 4 consecutive dots. Tsuyoshi Kamiyama, he is more than capable of hitting the long ball with that long handle. At the moment, not quite able to get them again. Finally, he does through a misfield. But they should come back for the second. And they have. Well, we are in this league stage game between the Sano Bulls and the Tokyo Wombats. And the Tokyo Wombats will be the happier of the two so far. Although Kolasuria, who has done the bulk of the scoring in this innings, would feel he's not got enough. He is on 60 now of 47 deliveries. Meanwhile, a single taken by Kamiyama to get him back on strike. Abid is into his final over. Once again played down the ground. And the fielder, well, he's been set pretty much straight. Rather than a long off and a long on, they have kept a fielder who is pretty much straight, and that's the only fielder out there. Otherwise, there is a fielder out there at cow corner, surprisingly enough. And that is the last delivery of this 18th coming up now. Another brilliant over. And it will stay brilliant. No boundaries in it. Just the 6 coming off it. At the end of the 18th now, it's 106 for 4 for the Sano Bulls Cricket Club. Well, here is the bowling lineup so far. A couple of wickets for Zahid Mushtaq. He bowled 4 overs on the trot. He has been the pick of the bowlers this morning. 2 for 17 in his 4. A wicket each for Aaron Regan and Rao Abid. And Aaron Regan, well, he's been sensational. And he is going to continue now in this 19th, the penultimate over of the innings. Well, for a moment it felt as if maybe 150 was on the cards when Jawad was bowling his final over. And the Pacers have once again come onto the scene here. And this time much more closer, and Kameyama does not miss out on it. He's got the boundary of the very first delivery of this 19th, and well, it will just spoil the figures for Aaron Regan. He will not be happy at all. Well, once again, bowling that short delivery. In the previous over, he bowled everything outside the off stump. And on this occasion, much more closer to the batter. And Kameyama, he is not someone who is going to miss out, especially after facing the number of deliveries that he has faced. This time, slightly slower through the air. He was very early into that shot. And they get across for a leg by, and the score moves on to Nelson now. Well, just a reminder for everyone to follow the JCS socials on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube for Japan Cricket. The GCA officials gives you all the updates about what is happening out in the Japanese international stage. Well, once again, a big swing, and they should come back for the second, and they do so. But they're coming for the third as well. This could be a chance of a run out. Well, there was never a third there, and they have thrown a wicket away. It's Kulusurya. Well, I'm not exactly sure why would you try and do that. Why would you need Kameyama on strike when you have someone like Kulusurya who is absolutely belting the ball around? And now he will have to depart here for 63. Once again, the new man will come in, and that must have maybe just chopped off 5 to 7 runs at the least from here on. They've lost half the side, Sano Bulls. It's 113 for 5, and a well made 63 by Koshan Kolosurya coming to an end. 63 of just 49 deliveries. It's been a very good innings by him. Right, then Kameyama is back on strike, and Aaron Regan is going to fire in another one, but this time given as a wide by the umpire just outside the tram line. Well, it looked as if it wasn't a wide, but it's the camera angle for us, which has made us feel like that. Nonetheless, an extra run for the Sano Bulls. Well, Kameyama would be wanting to try and get his side above 130 at the least. That's another wild swing and a miss. Completely misses out. And this time he connects, but once again just pushed on the offside for a single. Right, then we see Kohei Pakita, who has come in here at number 7. And Kohei Wakita will has a wide swing. That's another wide delivery. And he has ended up bowling it onto the stumps. And Wakita, well, he will have to depart here for a duck. Once again, excellent delivery by Aaron Regan. And once again, he's amongst the wickets. He gets his second of this morning, finishes spell 4, and Wakita has to depart here. It's 116 for 6 now. Well, there seems to be some mistake out there. So we will have that updated for you shortly. Kameyama is still out there and he is on strike at the moment. Well, Hassan has joined him. He's coming here at number 8 and he is at the non-striker's end. So the last over of the innings, 5 more deliveries left. Kameyama gets some back to it, but once again towards the wicket keeper. That's another dot. And the pressure is keeping on building on the Sano Bulls. Just 4 more deliveries left now. This time he connects. And he connects that one ever so well. That's gone all the way. Wow, what a hit that is. Well, never easy through the offside. And all of a sudden, he's broken the shackles out here as Kameyama. Well, he's more than capable with the long handle and a low full toss. He has dispatched that one ever so well over the fielder at long off. For a moment, the fielder at long off felt that he was in play out there to try and hold on to it. Nonetheless, it's a 6. And that's another swing and a miss. Once again, an excellent comeback by the bowler. Archit Chaudhary. Can he close it out nicely here? Once again, bowls it onto the pads. Well, they would be wanting to come back for the second. They would want Kameyama on strike. And he has managed to come back. Now then, the last delivery of the innings coming up with a score at 124 for 6. Can he connect one? Can he get another colossal blow? Kameyama. Right then, last ball of the innings, Archit Chaudhary up against Kameyama. He's missed out. And it's a direct hit and he's been given out. That's excellent by Archit Chaudhary. So that will be a dot delivery to close it out. So 124 for 7 is where they finish, the Sano Bulls. And excellent work by the pacer, Archit Chaudhary. He's done really well, fielding off his own bowling and then that direct hit on the turn. Beautifully done. Had only one stump to aim at and he hit the bullseye. So 124 for 7 is where the Sano Bulls finish. 125 will be the target for the Tokyo Wombats. And, well, only time will tell if it's enough. Well, as per the history out here at the Sano International Cricket Ground, it definitely isn't. But they are the home side and they will be very much aware of how things will play out soon. But an excellent bowling performance by the Pacers. Well, 4 overs were bowled of spin and 44 runs came off those 4 overs. So only 80 runs conceded by the Pacers. As we see the batting card. This is the Sano Cricket Club batting card. Have a look at the top of the order. Kaushan Kolasurya, 63 of 49 deliveries. Well, he was supported nicely by Rio Sakurano Thomas at the beginning and then by Ryoki Ozeki, the biggest partnership of this morning, and also Tsuyoshi Kameyama, who had to run him out in the end. Well, it didn't quite work out for him as well because he also got run out of the last delivery, out for 16, and here is the bowling card. Have a look at this. Aaron Regan, 4 overs, 2 for 16. Zahid Mushtaq, 4 overs, 2 for 17. That is how good they have been. And Rao Abid as well, 4 overs, 1 for 18. Very economical, the Pacers. And that 4 overs of Mohammad Jawad has made all the difference. He's conceded 44 in his 4. Otherwise, they have conceded only 80 in the other 16. So maybe there's not much in it for the spinners. As you can see, the 15th over being the biggest, 18 coming off it. Well, that was the over where Kaushan really hit a couple of reverse sweeps for boundaries and then that six as well. Well, but then those white dots at the back end of the innings has not quite helped them. Over number 16 and 17 doing a lot of damage for them. Only 2 runs of 16 and only the 1 run of the 17th has pulled them back a lot. 124 for 7 is what they have managed in their 20 overs. Right then, the Tokyo Wombats Cricket Club require 125 to win, 125 from 120 deliveries, and we will be back for the chase in a short while from now. All right, then we are back here for the chase. The target 125 for the Tokyo Wombats, and it has been an excellent maiden over by Colasoria first up. First with the bat and now with the ball, and this time in the air, and it will land safely. As Rio Sakurano Thomas will continue in the second over. So the two opening batters for the Sano Bulls are going to be the two opening bowlers as well, as Mohammad Jawad is off the mark. And now Muhammad Ali, the captain, on strike, who faced those five dot deliveries. Once again, just pushed on the offside. He's yet to get off the mark here. He's faced six deliveries now, and he must be itching to go now. Well, 125 the target, and you will fancy yourself to try and get as many as possible inside the power play so that you make the task easier in the back 14 rather than when the boundaries are a bit more difficult to come by. But also, the power play offers the opportunity to the bowlers to present with a wicket. Well, once again, down the leg side, it's not been given as a wide by the umpire. Well, just indicating that maybe flicking the thigh pad on the way. This time pushed in the air on the leg side. And that's another single taken. So Muhammad Ali is off the mark. Still no boundaries in this innings. Well, the Tokyo Wombats sit pretty much as favorites in this game at the moment. And this time it struck the pad, struck the top part of the pad, and that was a big appeal by Rio Sakurano Thomas. And that looked very close. And this time a wide swing and a miss. Well, Jawad wanting to try and get the runs back. Those are required. Nonetheless, that's the end of the second. Another superb over. At the end of the second, it's four without a wicket for the Tokyo Wombats. Well, continuing now in this third over, Surya will continue. He bowled the maiden over, of course, first up. And this time Jawad connects. How far has that gone? Well, not too far. Only towards the fielder. Once again, only a single. And this is an excellent start for the Sano Bulls. Trying to defend 124 that they have posted. Well, meanwhile, leading from the front is Muhammad Ali, the heartbeat of the Tokyo Wombats. And he has placed that one ever so well. That's in the gap. And for the boundary, the first one of this innings. It's been a while since coming. And he's swept that one away to perfection. So the first boundary of the innings, and he would be hoping that's first of many, is the captain Muhammad Ali. But he's a proven run scorer in the Japan Cricket League competition. And there have been multiple awards to his name, Muhammad Ali. He has definitely been a driving force behind the Wombats' recent campaigns. Would be wanting to make sure that he gets his side over the line. Nonetheless, that's the end of the third. The score at 10 without a wicket. Right then, Rio Sakurano Thomas continuing, and he has got the wicket. He went for the big one there, Jawad. Not quite able to time it well enough, and it's gone straight down the throat of the fielder, a deep square leg. And the early breakthrough that they were searching for, Rio Sakurano Thomas strikes the ever so evergreen Rio Sakurano Thomas. And the Tokyo Wombats, they have lost their first. It's 10 for 1. Right then, just the kind of the start that the Sano Bulls wanted. 10 for 1 after 3.1. The Tokyo Wombats trying to chase down 125. And it seems like this is not going to be an easy chase at all. Once again, what a good delivery that is by Rio Sakurano Thomas. Superbly bowled and gets a dot. As the new man in is Zahid Mushtaq, who bowled expertly well when he was bowling out there. He took a couple of wickets. He bowled those 4 overs on the trot. And now we hope to see that he is very well recovered and in mood to bat and try and get some quick runs. Once again, just played straight to the fielder on the leg side. Surya, the man collecting that one. But what an asset to have these two, isn't it? The players who can open the bowling for you and also open the batting for you. How often do we see that in any T20 side? Well, be it any format, in fact. And that's a wild swing and a miss. So 3 consecutive dots for Rio Sakurano Thomas. Well, he's wanting to hit it into orbit at the moment, Zahid Mushtaq, and that was very close to the stumps as well. So that's four consecutive dots, and now he is closing in on a maiden over. Can he get another dot delivery? Well, it seems like Zahid Mushtaq is going to have a big swing. It does not matter to him who the bowler is or what is happening out there. He wants to swing. And he swings. And it's fallen short of the fielder, lands safely. They will take the single, so he gets off the mark. Excellent, excellent over. Take nothing away from it. Just the one run and the wicket. At the end of the fourth, it's 11 for 1 for the Tokyo Wombats. The change in the bowling, surprisingly enough, the South African born is going to continue. Van Onselen, the left arm spinner. Well, Zahid Mushtaki is having a swing at everything at the moment. And only a single is what he will get. It's been an excellent power play so far for the Sano Bulls. Once again, beautifully bowled. And this time it's gone behind square. Well, another wild swing, and this time an appeal for a stumping, and it's been given. And Van Onselen strikes in his very first. And Zahid Mushtaq, who has been swinging his bat at almost everything, has to depart here for two. And the Tokyo Wombats, would you believe it? They are two down in this fifth over, and they have accumulated only 13 runs so far. And they are right on top now, the Sano Bulls, the home side. Right then, 13 for 2. It's been pushed on the offside. That's another dot. This time it will be a wide by Van Onselen. Just misses his line. Once again, beautifully bowled. And that is now the end of the fifth with the score at 14 for 2. Well, this time it's in the air and it's gone all the way. Beautiful hit by Muhammad Ali. And he gets a six of the first six of this innings. And maybe just trying to get the move on here. Well, that was some improvisation, wasn't it? And now it's been pushed towards the fielder at short third. This time it's been cut away. And once again, straight to the fielder at third man. A direct hit, but he's made it home quite comfortably. Right then, Zed Butt has come in here at number 4 with his side and all sorts, and he needs to get off the mark still. Once again, another batter who is more than capable of playing with that long handle. This time wanting to cut that one away. Another dot delivery. Kohei Wakita with a beautiful over so far. Apart from that 6, which was hit of the very first delivery. And this time played down the ground. So he connects one, does Zahid Butt, and he gets off the mark with that boundary. Well, it has been an expensive over, the last one of this power play, and that closes out the sixth over with the score now at 25 for 2. Right then, 25 for 2. And we are outside the power play now. Exactly 100 more required from the remaining 14 overs. And this time, Zahid Butt wanting to sweep that one away. Went down on one knee. Not quite in control. Well, Van Onselen bowled that superb over, the fifth one of the innings. And now, once again, just trying to keep things tight here. And that could be a wide down the leg side. Well, that one is running away. But the fielder does get across, saving at least a couple of runs. And he does so. Yes, signaled by the umpire in the end, three wides. The short third fielder getting across to collect the ball on that occasion. Once again, just straight to the fielder, just pushed on the leg side. Well, can't really afford too many dot balls here, the Tokyo Wombats, because with every single dot delivery, the asking rate is starting to climb up. This time pushed back at the bowler. Beautifully bowled. Once again, guides that one on the leg side. And this time he gets that single, the Zahid Butt, and brings his captain back on strike for the last delivery of the set. Well, quite a few wides in this over. That's the fourth wide, fourth extra run of this over. Five have come off it. And Van Onselen would feel that his figures would have been immaculate had it not been of these wides. This time straight up in the air and an easy chance. Well, once again, completely undone by the turn. And now the captain, Muhammad Ali, has to depart. And Van Onselen, what a superstar he is, gets another one for himself. And the Tokyo Wombats, in deep, deep trouble, lose the wicket number 3. And the top order is back in the pavilion. 30 went for 3 now after the end of the seventh over. Alright then, Taniyama will continue now in this over number 8. Well, he is an excellent leg spinner. And he will only make things difficult out here for the batting team. Once again, wanting to cut that one away, and they get across for a quick single. Well, the new man in is Abu Bakr, who is on strike now. Just facing his first delivery. But still 93 away from this target. Once again, superbly bowled by Taniyama. That's 3 consecutive dots now. And what an outstanding over. It is turning out to be just the one run of it. Can Taniyama close it out? Well, he's conceded a wide. Once again, wanting to keep it away from the arc of the batter. And this time he gets back to ball and he plays it down the ground for a single, so gets off the mark. At the end of the 8th now, it's 34 for 3. Well, as you can see, the comparison out there. And ever since the start of the innings, the Wombats have been below. And they continue to stay below, although they are not that far. A couple of big overs can turn things around once again. 91 required from 72 deliveries. So spin from both ends now. And he's gone for the big one. The fielder is straight down the ground. And Abu Bakr will have to depart here. Just the one run for him. And the Tokyo Wombats in deep trouble lose their fourth. And they are making a meal out of this chase at the moment. Juto Ball, the bowler, who has got a wicket of his way here. And in comes Rawalid at number 6, another player who bowled superbly well. 4 overs, 1 for 18 for him. Now has a job to do with the bat. He's pushed that one, guided that one towards the fielder at point. And in the end, the single is denied, so it's a dot delivery. Well, the spin didn't quite work out for the Tokyo Wombats. Only the one spinner is what they used, Jawad. He bowled 4 overs for 44, which is turning out to be the difference in this game so far. Only 80 runs were accumulated of the other 16 overs. And meanwhile, the spinners doing an exceptional job for the Sano Bulls. Once again, a big swing and finds the single out there in the deep. The Zahid Butt brings Rao Abid back on strike, who is off the mark here, one of two deliveries, but they need some boundaries. Just the 1-4 and the 1-6 so far, and both of them coming off the bat of Muhammad Ali, who has been departed. Well, now he's wanting to go big. Once again, chance. Kolosuria underneath, and he's not going to drop that one as Kaushan. Wicket number 5, and the second one in the very first was Juto ball. Rao Abid is the man who will have to go back to the pavilion now. And they have lost half their side here. Have the Tokyo Wombats, who are in deep, deep trouble here. 35 for 5 now in this chase of 125. Right, and that's the end of the ninth over now with the score at 35 for 5 for the Tokyo Wombats, who are in big, big trouble out here. Well, Mohammad Tanveer is the new man in. And without any surprises, Taniyama will continue. And meanwhile, that's wicket number 6 gone. Well, once again, the new batter comes in and departs. And the Tokyo Wombats, they've just lost their way here. Well, this time it is Mohammad Tanveer who has to go back to the pavilion. And it's 36 for 6, would you believe it? And they will need a remarkable recovery from here on, the Tokyo Wombats. Right then, Archit Chaudhary comes in here at number 8. And at the moment, this innings is heading nowhere. 36 for 6, trying to chase down 125. Well, they would have fancied themselves as the favorites in the innings break, but it's not quite worked out for them. And what a good delivery once again. What a good delivery that is. Shaping that one away from the right hander. And the turn once again doing the job out here for Taniyama. Now there's a slip in place. Once again wanting to push it to the offside. Another dot delivery. Well, that is 3 consecutive dots now. And Archit Chaudhary itching to get off the mark here. Well, that was a loose now. And he has dispatched that one perfectly in the gap. So a boundary to get off the mark for Archit Chaudhary. And you would say a much needed one in the end. Taneyama, well, once again, it just spoils the over for him. That is the end of the 10th now with the score at 40 for 6 for the Tokyo Wombats. And then Juto ball continuing. He's connected this one and it's gone all the way. Now then, Zahid Butt getting a 6 against the run of play. A 4 coming of the last delivery of the previous over and now a 6 of this first. All of a sudden, 10 runs in 2 deliveries. Well, is this the shift in momentum that they needed? Well, it's only 79 more required from here on. That is one thing that they would be having their eye on the Tokyo Wombats. This time he respects the good delivery, does Zahid Butt. And Zahid Butt at the moment holds the key in this chase. He needs to stay, he needs to bat throughout. And that's a low full toss. And that will be deposited once again out of the park. Beautifully struck into the dugouts. Second 6 of the over. And that outstanding over by Juto Ball, the first one, is all of a sudden turning things around here up against him. A couple of wickets in his first, and now a couple of sixes in his second. Well, that 6 also brought up the 50 for the Tokyo Wombats. 52 for 6 now. Once again, just respects the good delivery. Well, the timeline of this over 6 dot, 6 dot. You will be surprised if you see a 6 of the next delivery as well. All of a sudden, some momentum out here for the Tokyo Wombats. And he's gone for it again. And the same result once again. Just as you would have expected, 6 dot, 6 dot, and a 6 once again. Third one of the over. And Zahid Butt, he's turning the heat on here in this game. What a clean strike that was. Straight as an arrow. So the last ball of this 11th over, and this time a slight misfield of a zone bowling. So 19 runs coming off that one. At the end of the 11th, it's 59 for 6, 66 more needed of the last 9 overs. Right then, Hassan, the man, continuing. And Zahid Butt has pushed that one on the offside for a couple of runs. Well, 64 required from 53, and it's very much achievable. Even after 6 wickets lost, well, Zahid Butt holds the key out here. He's on 28 of 22 deliveries. He has just come off the previous over, hitting three sixes. And he's looking for his number four, and it's gone just over the fielder at mid wicket. Well, that could have been disastrous for him. And they're coming back for the second. Well, Archit Chaudhary was set on his bike straight away. He just wants to stay at the non-strikers end and have the best view, the best seat out there to have a look at Zahid Butt's batting, who is at the moment on 30 of 23 deliveries. He's got no support at all at the moment. He needs to do all by himself. This time slightly short, cut away and straight to the fielder. And now wanting to sweep that one away, given as a wide by the umpire. Once again hits that one down the ground, straight towards the fielder at long off. So not quite able to get those boundaries in this over. Well, that was a full toss and he's missed out there, Archit Chaudhary. Well, that one should be another wide, waiting for the umpire's call. It's not been given. And we've seen quite a few of those down the leg side, not given by the umpire. And that's an excellent, excellent delivery to top it off and close out the over. So 6 runs coming off it. And at the end of the 12th, it's 65 for 6. Well, Kashwan Kolasurya is back into the attack. 2 overs, none for 5. Bowled the very first over, which was a maiden. He's taken an excellent catch too. He has scored 63 runs. He's done everything in this game. Now up against Zahid Butt, who is being kept quite a bit. Once again, nicely bowled. Well, he got 19 runs of that 11th over, that second over of Juto ball. And ever since, he's been kept quiet now. 60 required from 46. That's another dot. Once again, the asking rate is starting to climb up, but he will not be really be too phased by that, Zahid, but he's more than capable of hitting those long shots, as we have seen already. Once again, cut away. This time they should come back for the second, and they do so quite comfortably. Once again, just pushed on the leg side. He takes the single of the fifth delivery because he wants to keep the strike for the next over. So now Archit Chaudhary has one more delivery. So it's either 2, 4, 6 or dot. Can't afford to lose his wicket also, of course. And that's gone right through. It's gone past everyone. But he does not want to take the single. So that will be a dot in the end. And at the end of the 13th, it's 68 for 6. 57 required of the last 7. Right then, we are back here with Van Onselen, 2 overs, 2 for 9. He has been the wicket taker. Zahid Butt, the man on strike. At the moment, he is playing out those good deliveries and waiting for the bad ones, which he can dispatch for maximums. 57 required from 41. Can he do something special out here, Zahid Butt? Well, he's not timed that one. It's gone straight up in the air. Chance, reverse cup. Very good catch. And that should be curtains now for the Tokyo Wombats. Well, that's exactly what one on Sullen was brought back in for. He is a key wicket taker, is the South African born, and he has taken another one. That's the big wicket of Sahid, but the last recognized batter for them departs here for 34, and they have lost number 7, 68 for 7 now. The Tokyo Wombats. Just 3 more wickets left for the Sano Bulls to finish this game off. All right then, 68 for 7. And at the moment, there's no point hanging around. They have to go for it. Mohammad Fahad is the man who has come in here at number 9. Slightly quicker through the air on that occasion by Van Onselen. We're wanting to make sure that his field is set correctly. If there are any chances to come their way. Well, that's a low full toss, and the wicketkeeper not quite able to collect it, and thankfully for him, it won't be costly either. So the last delivery of this 14th coming up now. Brilliant, brilliant over. Can he get a wicket made in here? Van Onselen. Well, he's conceded 9 runs, and would you believe it, out of the 9, 5 of them are wides. That is how good he has been throughout this morning. Well, this time he's connected it, but not far enough. And they take only a single. So just the 1 run coming off it won't quite get the wicket maiden. At the end of the 14th, it's 69 for 7 for the Tokyo Wombats. Right then, Kurasuria will continue now. He is into his final over. The man who has done almost everything today. He's taken the catches, he has kept things tight with the ball, he has scored runs with the bat. Meanwhile, bowls a wide delivery. Maybe a slight commentator's curse out there, giving away an extra run. Well, taking nothing away from his performance so far though. This time charging down the wicket, once again straight to the fielder. This time giving a lot of air, and once again just pushed on the offside straight to the fielder. Well, a sensational performance out here with the ball for the Sano Bulls. 124, well, it felt it wouldn't be enough. Meanwhile, it's gone high in the air and once again lands safely. So only a single. So Archit Chaudhary is back on strike, and once again he's been beaten. So it seems like Kola Surya is not going to be amongst the wickets. He's got a couple of more deliveries left. Well, once again a big swing, and it's in the gap as well. The fielder won't be able to stop it, and that's gone away for a boundary. The second one for Archit Chaudhary. Well, he's got 8 runs, and both of them have come in terms of fours. So the last delivery for Kolasoria to finish off his spell, and it will be a dot. That is now the end of the 15th, with the score at 75 for 7, 50 required of the last 5. Right then, Van Onsulen will continue here. 3 wickets for him today, and he is into his final over. 3 for 10 in his 3. Once again, a big swing, but straight to the fielder. Well, not shy of trying anything different here. These two sides, the field setting has been slightly different from the usual that we see in the other games. That's back-to-back dots now for Van Onselen. Well, that's a thick outside edge, and once again it will land safely. And they get across for a single. A quick one to bring Archit Chaudhary back on strike. Have a look at that delivery. An absolute ripper once again. Very close to finding the off stump. Is the left arm spinner. So 2 more deliveries left now for Van Onselen to try and get a 5 wicket haul. And he's played that one in the air. Fielder underneath, and he's not going to drop it. That's the 4th wicket. And once again, Kolasurya, what a catch. What an outstanding take that is by Kashwan Kolasurya. And that's the eighth one gone. Archit Chaudhary will have to depart now. And one on Solan gets his fourth wicket. He's got one more delivery left to try and get a fifer for himself. 76 for 8. Right, then it's going to be Aaron Regan who has come in here at number 10. Would you believe it? 125 the target and the side struggling at 76 for 8. How often do we see that? That is how good that they have been bowling at the Sano Bulls. Well, it's been pushed up in the air and that will be a dot to close it out. So that is the end of the 16th with the score at 76 for 8 and an outstanding spell by Devon Van Onsolen comes to an end. 4 overs, 4 for 11 for him. Well, he's just absolutely superb, isn't he? Is the South African born. Right, then 49 required of the last four, just the one run coming off the last over as well. And now Fahad is back on strike. Right, then 49 needed of 24. Hassan the man continuing. And he's connected this one. But once again, not far enough and just short of the fielder there. And he takes the single to bring Aaron Regan back on strike. Well, another bowler who bowled really well, Aaron Regan. And this time they will get an overthrow. Well, that's pretty unfortunate for the bowler. Komail Hassan will not be happy at all. Once again, swings hard, but only for a single to Van Onselen. And this time it's gone right through everybody. The fielder is short third, having to chase it, and he does well. Keeps it down to just one. Giving us wides as well, so two extra runs, bonus runs for the Tokyo Wombats. And he has hit the stumps this time, has Komail Hassan. And that's the ninth one gone. And I assume that is the end of the game as well. The Tokyo Wombats, they have just 10 players. So they are bowled out here for 81 as we see the replay of that wicket. Well, it has been an exceptional performance with the ball by the Sano Bulls. Well, wanting to move across, not quite able to get towards the ball. And as you can see, yes, Aaron Wright walking off. So that is the conclusion of the game. And the Sano Bulls have won this game by 43 runs in the end. Outstanding performance with the ball. Well, Kulasurya batted really well for a 63 too. Take nothing away from him. 63 for him, a couple of catches and very tight overs as well. His 4 overs, very economical. And Van Onselen, well, the pick of the bowlers, taking 4 wickets. As we see the Tokyo Wombats tumble fell like 9 pins, bowled out for 81. Well, thanks to Sahid, but to be fair, did the bulk of the scoring in this chase, scored 34. 19 runs came of the 11th over, where it gave them some hope, but it didn't quite work out because he had to depart shortly after that. And they are bowled out here for 81, the Tokyo Wombats. As you can see, the batting lineup. Well, 13 for Muhammad Ali. He hit a 4 and a 6 in that, inside that power play, but he did not really get any kind of support. 34 Z, but the pick of the batters. 34 of 32 deliveries, hitting three sixes in one over. And other than that, it's just single digits out there in that batting card. As you can see, well, Devon Van Onselen, 4 overs, 4 for 11. And out of those 11 runs, 6 of them were wides. Would you believe it? So he conceded only 5 runs if you take out the extras from his 4 overs. That is how good he was this morning. A couple of wickets for Juto Ball as well. He got a couple in his very first. Well, then in the second over of his, he was hit for three sixes. As you can see, that big tower out there, the 11th over. Well, 19 runs came of it, and it gave some hope to Zed Butt and the Tokyo Wombats. But in the end, they are bowled out here for 81. So the match summary then: the Sano Bulls have been put into bat. Kaushan Kalusoria, the pick of the batters, 63 of 49 deliveries. Kameyama in the end, supporting nicely, 16 of 15. Ozeki in the nice little partnership with Kolosuria, and a couple of wickets each for Aaron Regan and Zahid Mulk. They kept things tight. 124 is only what they managed to get the Sano Bulls, and in response, the Sano Cricket Club bowled superbly well. 4 wickets for Van Onselen, bowling the opposition out for just 81. So the Sano Cricket Club win this one by 43 runs in the Cricket League. And we will be back shortly with another game. This is your commentator Thani signing off from this one. Until the next game, goodbye.